Assalamu alaikum friends, hope you all are well. In today's video I am going to tell you about an incident that will make your heart tremble. After the death of a young woman, her body could not be buried at all, and there were many people present at her grave. Everyone was surprised to see this incident. When the dead woman's family is asked about a dead woman, everyone is shocked to hear the sensational information that the woman's family gives. Dear friends, today's video is very important and educational for everyone. So don't drag today's video and watch it till the end. So without further ado, let's get into the main discussion. Today's story is about a young girl from Pakistan named Sadia. Sadia is the only daughter of her parents. Parents have many dreams about Sadia. Sadia's life was very beautiful. Sadia was so beautiful that she received marriage proposals from well-to-do families. But Sadia's parents wanted Sadia to get more education. Meanwhile, Sadia was not very interested in reading. Although she was beautiful in appearance and voice, her parents were angry with her at times due to her lack of interest in studies and used to abuse Sadia a lot. One day, Sadia's father said to Sadia, "Look, mother, we have many dreams and desires for you. We want you to fulfill our dreams and desires. But you don't do that and move as you please. That gives us a lot of trouble. We want you to brighten our face by studying. Our dream is that you will become a great doctor. But looking at your behavior and studies, it is seen that you have no interest or desire in this matter. What do you really want, Sadia? Don't you want to study?" Then Sadia said, "Actually, father, I don't like education very much. Education does not enter my mind. I really don't want to study anymore. I may not be able to fulfill your dreams. You forgive me, despite many wishes of parents." Sadia did not even try to fulfill her parents' dreams. Sadia's parents were forced. Seeing a good man, he gave Sadia in marriage to him, as Sadia was the only daughter of her parents. So her parents spent a lot of money on Sadia's wedding. His marriage was performed with great fanfare. He is married to the pot. That boy was a government employee, because of which everyone liked that boy. And the boy was very handsome. Anyway, dear friends, Sadia got married. Sadia went to her husband's house. After 2 years of marriage, an incredible and miraculous event happened in Sadia's life. No one was prepared for that. Sadia dies suddenly. No one could accept the news, because everyone was wondering. Sadia, on the other hand, had no disease. Sadia was perfectly healthy. So why did he suddenly die like this? The matter hurt everyone's hearts. Sadia's husband hears this news and rushes home. He came and saw that his beloved wife had really died. Everyone in the whole house was crying a lot. Tears flowed around. Sudden death. No one could accept it. Sadia's body, when some women went to bathe. Yet another miracle happened, due to which incident there was an uproar in the whole area. When 4 to 5 women went to bathe the body of the dead woman, no one could move the body of the dead woman. The body was so heavy that even 4 or 5 women could not move the body of the dead woman. Then a woman who was there shouted, "Oh God, I cannot bathe any living woman, because the woman's body is not going to move at all. The woman seems to be clinging to the ground." When this news came to the men standing outside, then everyone was more surprised. The dead woman was not very healthy. Then why his body became so heavy? One person said, "You try a little better. Try hard, and maybe you will be able to lift the last one." Then again 5 or 6 women tried to lift the body of the woman, but it wasn't possible to lift the body of the woman. Then there was a learned man who was the imam of the mosque in that neighborhood. He addressed the women there, "You should sit next to that dead woman and recite the Quran. Then it might be possible to pick up the last one." According to Imam Sahib, some women sitting next to the dead woman started reciting the Quran together. After that, it was seen that the female body has become very light and moving. Then the body of the dead woman was taken and kept inside the bathtub, and 4 to 5 women bathed the body of that dead woman. When the bath is over, the body of the dead woman will be picked up by the cot. Then again, a miracle happened. With that woman's body could not be lifted by hand. The body became very heavy again. After that, Imam Sahib heard this incident and asked to recite the Quran there again. Then 2 or 3 women from among the women there started reciting the Quran again. And while reciting the Quran, at one time it was seen that the dead woman's body became very light, and her body was carried on the funeral bed. Everyone went to the Eidgah field with Katya for the funeral. A large number of people were present there. Everyone is here to attend the funeral of the dead woman, and everyone wants this woman to attain paradise. Therefore, everyone has participated in this funeral in the hope of seeking the forgiveness of the soul. Before the funeral prayer, the Imam said to the dead woman's husband, "Do you have something to say to the audience?" Then the dead woman's husband said, "Mr. Imam, I want to say more than just 2 things." What did the dead woman's husband say to the crowd present? "See, I have been married for only 2 years, and after 2 years my bride passed away. No one knows when people will die, so we should always prepare for death and saving for the hereafter, because none of us know when our death will come. Death is an eternal truth. No one can deny that. A person who does not believe in Allah Ta'ala also believes in this death. After death we start a new life. That will be the life of the hereafter. There we must give an account of all that we have done in this age. If we do good deeds in the world, we do good deeds, but we will certainly enjoy its virtues. And if we do bad deeds in this world, deceive people, cheat people, be arrogant with people, take bribes, then surely Allah Ta'ala will punish us in the grave. So this is what I want to say to you. You will always be prepared for death, and try to do good deeds as much as possible. Pray 5 times, but maybe our death will be very beautiful." When the words were finished, the Imam Sahib said that now the janazah of the dead woman will begin. Then the janazah of the dead woman started as usual, and after finishing the janazah namaz, when the dead woman was taken to the cemetery, the dead woman's body became heavy again. Even 5 to 6 men could not lift the body. Then Imam Sahib understood that this woman must have committed some misdeed and sin, because of which her body does not want to go to the grave after death. So he himself stood there and recited the Holy Quran. And then the last became much lighter. Then the last one went to the cemetery. After going to the cemetery, there was another wonderful scene. After the grave was dug and left, the grave was very beautiful. But when the dead woman came in front of the grave with the body, then it was seen that many snakes were present inside the grave. The snakes looked very scary and poisonous. Everyone was talking about where the snake came from inside the grave. The dead woman's husband was very worried. The dead woman's husband kept saying, "Why is this happening to my wife?" He went to the Imam Sahib and said, "Huzur, what can be done now?" Then the Imam said, "Dig another new grave for your wife and bury your wife there." Then a new grave was dug for the dead woman. there were seen many snakes like the previous graves. Seeing that there was a lot of fear in everyone, a question arose in everyone. Everyone wondered if this dead woman had committed such a sin, due to which snakes kept coming to her grave. Everyone started asking her husband. The husband said, "I will tell you everything, but first let my wife be buried." After that, he was buried in that news according to Imam Sahib. The dead woman's body was buried by her husband himself. For the last time, he looked at the face of his wife, removing the face veil to see her face. He saw his wife's face turned black. Seeing that, he was very scared and got nervous. Then he hastened out of the grave and buried the dead woman as usual. After the burial, when everyone was praying for the dead woman, the husband of the dead woman was crying and saying, "Oh Allah, please forgive my wife." After finishing the prayers, everyone left for home. But Imam Sahib asked the dead woman's husband, "I have something to say to you, so you stop. Let's all go. I have something personal to say to you." Then the husband of the dead woman was asked, "Did your wife do such things that caused such things to happen to her body after death? Do you know anything about your spouse that could cause this to happen?" Then the dead woman's husband kept silent. He didn't want to say anything. He kept saying, "I will read everything to you." But the Imam said, "Please tell me now." Then the dead woman's husband said, "As beautiful as my wife looked and sounded, her behavior was much more ugly than her. She was a daughter of a rich family. Due to father's wealth, he had a lot of pride. He carried himself to the extremes of arrogance. My wife used to talk arrogantly to me too, and always misbehaved with my relatives. He thought himself very big. He used to insult me in many ways. As I am a government employee, I cannot stay at home all the time. That's why my wife used to abuse me a lot. I was always patient. I didn't say anything to my wife. I would bear everything silently. I didn't tell anything about this to my parents either, because my wife used to misbehave with my parents too. Once I told my father-in-law, 'Your daughter misbehaves with me and all my family, because of which we all suffer a lot. Please teach your daughter to be nice to everyone.' My father-in-law then told me, 'Look, father, my dear daughter Sadia grew up very lovingly from childhood. We fulfilled all her wishes, and we never abused or beat her. Our only daughter. Although he is treating you badly now, he will not treat you badly when he is old enough to understand everything. So for the time being, you adapt yourselves to his bad behavior. All will be fine with time.' I was very patient, in the hope that my wife's disposition will ever change. But my wife's character never changed. She was always arrogant and misbehaved with people. And from what happened to my wife's body, after she died suddenly, I understood that Allah Ta'ala arrested her by the angel of punishment. That's why I stood in front of his grave and cried. And I prayed for him that Allah may forgive him. Now Allah Ta'ala knows well whether Allah Ta'ala has forgiven him. Lord, you should not tell anyone these words. And if you tell anyone, there is no need to tell my name, my wife's name, and there is no need to tell our address. You can narrate this incident to the entire Ummah so that everyone can learn from it. But there is no need to give me and my family address." After hearing this incident, Imam Sahib was very shocked and realized that due to arrogance and misbehaving with her husband, such incidents happened with the dead female body. Then the Imam left from there. 4 or 5 days after this incident, another new incident was revealed. The dead woman's husband came to Imam Sahib to pray for the dead woman. and then gave some more sensational information. The dead woman's husband said, "My in-laws wanted to educate my wife, and their dream was to make her a doctor. But their daughter did not study much." And Sadia then told her parents that education did not enter her mind. One of the reasons for this was that he had made many bad friends in his life, who taught him to be intoxicated, and even after marriage, my wife was constantly addicted, which I have never told anyone till today. He was taking drugs every night, which used to bother me a lot. I dream of my wife every night. He keeps asking me to forgive me, and she screams a lot and says I am in a lot of danger, or "You forgive me, Imam Sahib. What can I do now in such a situation?" Then the Imam said to the dead woman's husband, "You should pray for your wife and donate to the mosque madrasa for the forgiveness of her soul, and help the poor and orphans, and pray more tawbah istighfar yourself, as well as pray for your wife. It is not the case that if you do these things, the torment of your wife's grave will be forgiven. But if Allah wants, everything is possible. If Allah wills, Allah can forgive your wife." Then the dead woman's husband started donating money to the mosque madrasa, according to Imam Sahib, and fed the orphans and the poor, and gave them some money. He did these things for 2 long months. At one point he dreams of his dead wife, and the wife tells him that "You have mercy on me, and I have come here because of the work you have done for me on earth. Now I am much relieved, and got rid of the terrible punishment. Pray for me and forgive me." Then, after the dream was broken, the dead woman's husband again went to Imam Sahib and describes all events. Imam Sahib, after hearing this incident, told his husband, "Your wife may have been freed from the torment of the grave, so maybe you've been dreaming." Dear friends, this is an incident that you may not believe, should not be believed. But such incidents often happen in our world, such as Pakistan's famous Alameddin Maulana Tariq Jamil Sahib, and written books. He has described numerous such incidents in the graves he has seen, which have happened on this earth. Many such incidents happen around us, the news of which we may not know. We only know the news that comes on social media. But countless incidents remain without coming to social media, which remain hidden from human eyes. I pray to Allah Ta'ala that Allah Ta'ala always accepts us as His beloved servants and saves us from pride. At the same time, He gave tawfiq to do good deeds and gave the blessing to live according to the Sunnah, because circumcision is liberation. A person who colors his life in the color of Sunnah. The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, will intercede for him in the Maidan of Hashar and take him to paradise, insha'Allah.